Initiates of the sacred brotherhood of elite MCs. Raw mysterious initiates of the sacred brotherhood of elite MCs. Raw mysterious initiates of the sacred brotherhood of elite MCs. Raw mysterious initiates of the sacred brotherhood of elite MCs. Raw mysterious. Ali is happy when Moors are happy. Vixens wink fake lashes trying to trap me. 40 days and nights battling the lower demons. This is not the land, hybrids can't be freemen. If this is not their land, who's the immigrant thinking they're sovereign? Imagination figment, recessive is their status, lacking pigment. Game for the Thanksgiving, but no commitment to indigenous Moors they conquered with Bibles, signs in the vitals and signs in the cycles, only to strangle, embracing my rivals. Free national standards, not playing with the tribals. Each Moor is their own Christ, not disciples. Whether hands or thoughts, no worshiping idols. Always carry my Moorish Quran, no recitals. Everyone will not process ancients' arrivals. Initiates of the sacred brotherhood of elite MCs. Raw mysterious initiates of the sacred brotherhood of elite MCs. Raw mysterious initiates of the sacred brotherhood of elite MCs. Raw mysterious initiates of the sacred brotherhood of elite MCs. Raw mysterious.
Innate mystic ability to show and prove a lesson, coupled with the agility to move you with the message, presence of divine mind to navigate you with a reference, urgent with a purpose, perfect. Emergent urban legends, real more is not a question or a choice or a preference. You are who you are, you should have the same obsession. Broke the same jewels to a dude, the corner Jane and Western. What you reppin', all that effort, that direction, keep you separate in a world of blind sheep. I was born to be a shepherd, mind like an elephant. Got the paws of a leopard, means I'm wise and I'm strong. Crank you up like I'm a record, take you to the body shop, correct your lines to true vector manifestations. Matter, energy, and mind, spirit men unsung. Trey Young dropping dimes until you tighten up, you catching splinters from the pine. Clean the clouds out your thoughts, that's what keep you in the bind.
Initiates of the sacred brotherhood of elite MCs. Raw mysterious initiates of the sacred brotherhood of elite MCs. Raw mysterious initiates of the sacred brotherhood of elite MCs. Raw mysterious initiates of the sacred brotherhood of elite MCs. Raw mysterious.
So they study the actual cities and they monitor these particular things. Fortunately, the last 4 or 5 years, black people have gone to a certain savage level, and that's good. I'll tell you what I'm talking about. When the Arabs was going across Africa, and right after Muhammad, they went across Africa, and if you didn't submit to Islam, they cut your head off and you died.
First time I saw the prophets pick like, whoa. No one ever told I feel sick like, bro. Stomach all churning what I'm learning like, no. Also have my own flag not burning like, no. Fez a turban on other nations like, whoa. What's wrong with your people's minds like, whoa. Wanna take pics and talk for hours like, yo. Never felt this reppin' black power like, whoa. Never felt this reppin' chematology. Most of your black leaders teach technology. Egypt is North Africa, so is Morocco. In the farthest west, Mecca is Chicago, Mississippi, Nile River, Grand Canyon, Pharaoh. I'm Moroccan native, they call the mother spaceship. Disrespect Malik L, call him slave named Malcolm. Speak truth, watch blacks have a tantrum. Masked up like phantoms, age of corona. Catch the Heineken virus, not improper persona. Fall victim to lymphoma, pineal melanoma. Like whoa, when I read the Treaty of Verona. Whoa, when I read the Protocols of Zion. With goosebumps drinking roots of the dandelions. Berries of the elders, grass of the lemons. Like whoa, how my people ride with these snitch felons.
People lost start telling like, whoa. Me felon. Oh, no. Twin towers explode like 9/11. Times 7 like melting down the church bells to fill a weapon too sick like Catholic priests playing with leeches. My wolf pack tear 'em apart, breaking the leashes. Bad night, bad mission, sad vision, past living, cash missing. I done seen it all before, life, fast life. Alhamdulillah, Stephallah, cash life. Feds getting involved, switching on flashlights. Allah, we appear like Walla. Scimitar, make 'em calm down, Goose Fraba. CNN show the hoax on the repeat. Corona is over, now George on the repeat. Like, how would you survive? Everybody crash. Jesus, take the wheel, it's gonna be another rapture. Go to crisiscast.com. Right now, you'll see that we in the matrix. Right now, George Soros handing out paychecks. Right now, niggas mad cause they ain't get paid yet. Pipe down, I mean Pope down. Pause all the savages, they only active to react to what is happening. What's happening? City ordinance, man's rights subjugate the womb, human trafficking.
Islam. GS is about to be crazy. Mufti's going wild.
All of that is black culture. You see, when I'm sitting down at the bus stop back in September, and I look down and there's somebody left a Bible there. And I guess the spirit was like saying, well, there's some stuff in there you need to go in and retrieve. And I opened the Bible up and went to Moab. And then I saw a story on Turner Classes, the story of Ruth. All of this stuff is nothing but, no matter these white faces or whatever, we did live in other lands and we were a universal people. And these stories of our people, that's all over the earth.
Ominous overtones, picking over the bones, reciting Andromeda's poem, memory overload. The longer the thought, the shorter the memory hold. Was told by Bush, all about a Nova Order Seclorum. Remember the storm, how tender the form, losing your sense of decorum. Once again the pressure is on. Dimensions were formed at the end of the storm, tempting fate with flesh, taking steps back and forth. Ethereal highways plagued by birds of prey, intrigue and scurrilous cunning find a way to be difficult. And just a few feet below, there lies another road where evil grows. Thought to be a pinnacle where schemers walk and players play. With traitorous grins, the culprits lay in the midday. Sultry sunbones bleach away. That's okay, prophet knows where I'm at along the roadway.
A few feet below is another road where schemers walk, where traitors grin and culprits bask in the sun. They think they are on the same road with true Moors, but the Moors are high above on a pinnacle where they might view the destructionists as they fall for the last time and their bones bleach in the sultry midday sun.
When a soul eater is summoned, someone conjured. Be a master of a cult or be conquered. Demons all around you. When lower self is active, wisdom is the shield so souls won't be captives. Jabberwockies are dragons, not a group of dancers. Battle lower self with energy transfer enhances. Every foe has handlers, use protection candles. Trust intuitive visions in lions' dens like Daniel.
Ominous overtones, picking over the bones, reciting Andromeda's poem, memory overload. The longer the thought, the shorter the memory hold. Was told by Bush, all about a Nova Order Seclorum. Remember the storm, how tender the form, losing your sense of decorum. Once again the pressure is on. Dimensions were formed at the end of the storm, tempting fate with flesh, taking steps back and forth. Ethereal highways plagued by birds of prey, intrigue and scurrilous cunning find a way to be difficult. And just a few feet below, there lies another road where evil grows. Thought to be a pinnacle where schemers walk and players play. With traitorous grins, the culprits lay in the midday. Sultry sunbones bleach away. That's okay, prophet knows where I'm at along the roadway.
A few feet below is another road where schemers walk, where traitors grin and culprits bask in the sun. They think they are on the same road with true Moors, but the Moors are high above on a pinnacle where they might view the destructionists as they fall for the last time and their bones bleach in the sultry midday sun.
When a soul eater is summoned, someone conjured. Be a master of a cult or be conquered. Demons all around you. when lower self is active. Wisdom is the shield so souls won't be captives. Jabberwockies are dragons, not a group of dancers. Battle lower self with energy transfer enhances. Every foe has handlers, use protection candles. Trust intuitive visions and lions' dens like Daniel's. Drew Ali the mastermind, study his manual, page to page. Keep scavengers in a state of rage. Throw them off course, or press them in the full court. You can't stop scavengers making signs of the cross. Goblins want your soul too, for them it's soul food. Keep you in a low mood and make you pose nude. Shaking your hips and ass, being a harlot. Revelation beast bitch with face of mascara. Sons thinking they sexy, twerking and grinding. Innocence destroyed, getting molested by Biden. Or get set off course, mess with a siren. Do well under pressure, become a diamond.
Come see us at Nana's Kitchen. God bless and be safe out there. Love you guys. Nana's Kitchen. Where's it at? Nana's Kitchen. Much love. Bye-bye.
Yes, y'all and discard them like blunt trash. Active more Avengers, call that a hog smash. Your conscious spoon sniffling booze and role models. Won't accept facts and just quarrel. No 5 principles, of course, no profit. Facebook and YouTube names they won't have on the docket. They say go fund me, and when you go fund them and get robbed, I say I told you, don't fund them. Still won't listen and call yourself deaf. While most say middle, my path is right hand or left. Some say your cult and think we worship Baphomet. We just Sufis with trance for Muhammad. Offerings of fruit for Oya and Oshun. If that won't work, we call in some Shangoons. Summon demons at the full blood and new moons. Mirror steel blade only escaped by a few coons. And those that escaped are on the run and stay running. Falling off the London Bridge or jumping.
Nobody beats the,
Nobody beats the Moors.
nobody beats the,
Nobody beats the Moors.
nobody beats the,
Nobody beats the Moors.
nobody beats the,
Nobody beats the Moors. We studied from the masters, we know that's self-reloaded. From Moorish Empire books to hip-hop decoded. Before modern decoders, we studied A.A. Rashid, Conscious Kent Hemet, Beza Aleem and Akeem. Moore's water up the table round like Common had soul. We got degrees by the pound, stay uplifting humanity. We got Moors near Japan and lands nether and even Afghanistan. On every Atlantis island, Moors you find them. Repping Moorish nation, not Turtle Island. Island when it's really a continent. Anybody saying Drew Ali's a myth incompetent. Claiming black and Indian nonsense, then begging active Moors to help you out your consequence. We still lend a hand, our first principle love. Realize, not a hand, just a stick in a glove.
nobody beats the,
Nobody beats the Moors.
nobody beats the,
Nobody beats the Moors.
nobody beats the,
Nobody beats the Moors.
nobody beats the,
Nobody beats the Moors. On and on to the break of dawn. Many Negro black scholars cointel pawns. Doing dirty work, keep you deaf and dumb. With no love, truth, peace, justice, or freedom. Moors have returned, called the ancient ones. We are the copper tone natives, not the Asian ones. Feathers up in turbans, Allah's patient sons. Key man escaped shots from Smith's agent guns. Or any coil to pro plans or cease his plots. Not getting a slave name, talking to racist cops. Violating oaths of office and ethics. Never knew I was a Moor, thought I was synthetic. Stop being skeptic, suddenly apologetic. We shut down the psychological warfare methods. Active Moors check it, see it as a lesson. Muftis will know their strength before the foes test it.
nobody beats the,
Nobody beats the Moors.
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 Nobody beats the Moors. Nobody beats the Moors. Nobody Nobody beats the Moors, nobody beats the Moors. Nobody beats the Moors, nobody beats the Moors. Nobody beats the Moors, nobody beats the Moors.
This is what it feels like. 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 People running up to me that I don't know. Are you a prince? They ask, tell them I'm from Morocco. Look me up and down with a smile, not a frown. Turn their brain to water, watch their lower self drown. Wanna touch my antennas and steal my energy. Eyes bulge, telling them I'm always King Edward V. When it comes to facts, with Moors they get beggarly. They ask Morocco where? The farthest northwesterly. With every question asked, I respond cleverly. All dependents won't explain expertly. Going in their wallets, pull out pictures with feathers, breaking down the ring, then the mason confesses. He's at 33 degrees, now the combo stretches like yoga into esoteric metaphysic lessons. When my people aren't like me, he impresses. When we take Moorish science to the highways and hedges. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like.
They tried to get you to think again. That's the prophet. I'm upright, don't need a friend. And you can't stop this. I'ma write with my pen. Violate me and I'ma send Brits again.
This is what it feels like. 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 People running up to me that I don't know. Are you a prince? They ask, tell them I'm from Morocco. Look me up and down with a smile, not a frown. Turn their brain to water, watch their lower self drown. Wanna touch my antennas and steal my energy. Eyes bulge, telling them I'm always King Edward V. When it comes to facts, with Moors they get beggarly. They ask Morocco where? The farthest northwesterly. With every question asked, I respond cleverly. All dependents won't explain expertly. Going in their wallets, pull out pictures with feathers, breaking down the ring, then the mason confesses. This is what it feels like. 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 People running up to me that I don't know. Are you a prince? They ask, tell them I'm from Morocco. Look me up and down with a smile, not a frown. Turn their brain to water, watch their lower self drown. Wanna touch my antennas and steal my energy. Eyes bulge, telling them I'm always King Edward V. When it comes to facts, with Moors they get beggarly. They ask Morocco where? The farthest northwesterly. With every question asked, I respond cleverly. All dependents won't explain expertly. Going in their wallets, pull out pictures with feathers, breaking down the ring, then the mason confesses. He's at 33 degrees, now the combo stretches like yoga into esoteric metaphysic lessons. When my people aren't like me, he impresses. When we take Moorish science to the highways and hedges. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like.
They tried to get you to think again. That's the profit. I'm upright, don't need a friend. And you can't stop this. I'ma write with my pen. Violate me and I'ma send writs again. Remain cautious, cause often it's in again. That's in the police out just to silence men. When they bust through your door, you won't breathe again. Nationality will show you how to live again. It can change the predicament you're living in. You can heal the whole world without medicine. Only truth can make you a better man. Why lie? Cause you got paid to murder men. Then you try to lock them up when they riot in. That's okay, cause for freedom I'm diving in. With no knowledge, you come back to die again. Resurrect me not, cause I'd rather be one with Allah.
This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like.
Oh, in Burkina, inside Burkina, you guys don't like a president.
No, it's not true. It's not true. That is how we. That is that. That's why you see people sleeping on the street because of the president.
What do you mean? People sleep on the street because of the president?
The Waiya people. There are people who gather every night to the Carrefour
Roundabout.
Yeah. If there is something, they will call the people to come out.
I heard that you all sleep on the street just to protect your president. Is it true?
First of all, it's because of the love they have for the country.
Because of what?
The love.
The love for the country? Okay.
Also, imagine they're sitting here and the president just passed and see them. That's kind of motivate the president. This is why they decided to go out and to be like, oh, if something happened in the country, they have to be alerted so they can react immediately in order to protect the president.
When did this idea begin?
So he said when Ibrahim Traore became president, they knew that the country has enemies.
Wow.
So that's why the population started thinking, what can we do to help our president to make our country develop?
Are they military men?
No.
You're civilian. So does it mean that each and everyone in here is not being paid?
Yeah, they're not.
For the love of your country.
Yeah,
For the love of your president.
they are not paid. Some of them are traders, like sailors.
Okay.
Some of them has their own work. In the day, they work, and at night, they come here.
Today, the people of Burkina Faso have confidence in their government to the extent. People are saying that, oh, in Burkina, inside Burkina, you guys don't like a president.
No, it's not true. It's not true. That is how we. That is that. That's why you see people sleeping on the street because of the president.
What do you mean? People sleep on the street because of the president?
The Waiya people. There are people who gather every night to the Carrefour
Roundabout.
And this thing give me goosebumps. Honors to all the Moors worldwide. Supreme honors to Noble Drew Ali that did his work. And what are you going to do with what he left you? Honors to all the Moors. Q&A Wednesday. But before we Q&A, you already know you have to touch on some things. Before we do that, let's do this. Before we do that, let's do this. This is what their president, not some modern European, right? President who looks just like them. Right? President who looks just like them. Not some foreigner. They're voted and then some foreigner. I see why these people are sleeping in the street in protection of their president. Right. So what is the Moor? What is the Moor? What is the national? The national who decided to, put his name in the hat, and everybody was down with him before anybody else who was before him. Some people are going to call that a coup and stuff like that, when that's not even their jurisdiction to talk about that, but we're not even going there. And then it wasn't a coup when they went there and took people's stuff. Right? Just like certain people can't be anti-Semite and all that stuff when they're, right? So 2 years of their president, GDP grew from approximately 18 billion to 22 billion. Let's make this bigger so they could get their honors. He has rejected loans from the IMF and the World Bank. He said Africa doesn't need the World Bank, IMF, Europe, or America. And then what he means is U.S. Corporation. What he means is Britain and them people. He doesn't mean Europe. He doesn't mean America. He's saying that for the dummies. He's not saying that he's saying that for the dummies, because dummies are gonna, when they think Europe and America, they're gonna think about white supremacy and all that. That's where their mind's gonna go. So he's talking to the goofballs who don't study. But the ones who study, we're gonna clear it up for you. So this is how he's repping, which is why they're repping. He reduced the salaries of ministers and parliamentarians by 30% and increased the salaries of civil servants by 50%. Imagine right now, they said, whatever you're doing, civil servant, serving others, your salary is going up 50%. And it's the goosebumps, because you could see that he took Noble Drew Ali's program and applied it to Nation. Because Drew Ali was saying this same stuff. Grand Sheik and Grand Governor and Grand whoever else, they don't get paid. They don't get paid to do that work. And then when you go through the letters, Noble Drew Ali was personally going to pay Miliel if something happened. That was personal, because I know that you got your own stuff to do and you're sacrificing for me. So I'll pay for you to whatever. But these people, like, there should be you should be able to look and see the whole thing of finance just sitting there for you, because it's your stuff. There's no way that no grand whoever should have touched anything, and anything went in their pocket. Everything's for the nation. There's no you get paid. If you get paid, you're putting it right back into the nation again. He paid off Burkina Faso's local debts. He established 2 tomato processing plants, the first ever. Remember, this is in 2 years he did this. Right? In 2 years, he did this. And then keep in mind, right? Keep in mind that we didn't even start reading stuff. So this is why they're standing up for their president. And then just take credit and just call it, Grand Sheik or something like that. Or Supreme Grand Sheik. Or Grand Governor, because, there's no Grand Sheik or something like that. Or Principal, because, there's no temple, so the best we could do is have a school. He's that. And he's doing for his nation. And his people are backing him 100 because he's doing for the nation. He's not doing for his selfish self.
Oh, in Burkina, inside Burkina, you guys don't like your president.
No, it's not true. It's not true. That is how you see people sleeping on the street because of the president.
What do you mean? People sleep on the street because of the president?
The why people. There are people who gather every night to the Carrefour roundabout. Yeah. If there is something, they will call the people to come out.
I heard that you all sleep on the street just to protect your president. Is it true?
First of all, it's because of the love they have for the country.
Because of what?
The love.
The love for the country? Okay.
Also, imagine that sitting here and the president just passed and see them. That's kind of motivate the president. This is why they decided to go.
What's our first principle again? It's love, right? Oh, what did they say? The love for their country, right? No, Jolly said learn to love instead of hate, didn't he? He said love is the first principle, didn't he? He made multiple references to love, didn't he? Well, if they're showing love like this, that they after their shift from work, they're not going home. They're going to the roundabout to go be with the other Moors who are standing up for the nation. If we sleep, we're going to sleep right there. And then get up, you gotta go to work. And then everything's going to be all right because the wife's at home and she's going to take care of everything or whatever because she knows that her man is out there and he's standing up for the president who got her 50% extra finance. Why is she mad? What is she going to be mad for? Well, because she loves him and all that stuff. Right? To go Juali principle again. Right? Or the children or something like that because mom transitioned, the plane crash or something like that. And dad has to hold the fort down and he's going to work 12-hour shift. And then the children out there trying to burn the house down and doing BS when the parents not home. The oldest one is taking care of the youngest one, and then that one's taking care of that one. They're not sitting around playing games. Why? Because they have national standards. They were brought up knowing certain things. So when real life happens, like, hey, guess what? We don't have a foreigner as our president anymore. Our president is actually Asiatic, and he's actually from here, and he's actually going to be working for the people. What do you think those children are going to do? You think they're not going to be inspired to be responsible human beings and not be niggers? Think they're not going to be inspired? If they look around the domicile and they see Moorish unity, Moorish love, think they're not going to be inspired to be greater? Look what these people are doing for their nation. He'll play a lot of games. Our people are the biggest game players. Because the same stuff that these people are doing, Moore's been telling you for 100 years, this same stuff, and you're repping some Burkina Faso harder than Moore's. When Moore's been telling you, Drew Ali did what those Moors doing all over, kicking out the modern European, taking over. Mm-hmm. This is how far they're gonna go. This is how they're repping.
Out and to be like, oh, if something happened in the country, they have to be alerted so they can react immediately.
And we're not talking about some 5,000 miles away people talking about solidarity with the Burkina Faso. We're not talking about that. We're not people who are there. People who they walk by the president's headquarters every day. People who are actually there. This is how hard they're going for their homegrown president. What you doing for your ones? And don't tell me about all this stuff you've been doing for traders and all that stuff. Telling you about Negro, black, whatever. You hear them talking about some black, whatever? You hear them call him a black man ever? How come you don't call him a black man ever? Why do they always talking about the nationality? And then you're sitting around debating Moors. When this is the same stuff that Moore's been telling you.
In order to protect the president.
When did this idea begin?
So he said when Ibrahim Traore became president, they knew that the country has enemies.
Wow.
So that's why the population started thinking, what can we do to help our president to make our country develop?
Are they military men?
No.
You're civilian. So does it mean that it's
been telling you damn people? You over here playing dumb. You want to be citizens and all this BS. Why don't you be a civilian like them, like the other nationals? Why don't you be a civilian like the other nationals? Judge or authority on civil law. Huh? Relating to a citizen. Relating to. It's not what it is, though. Civilian's not a citizen. It's relating to it. You can be a national citizen of your own stuff. As soon as you just have some foreigner telling you about citizen, somebody's about to play you. Relating to public life, benefiting a citizen, popular, affable, courteous, non-military, non-cleric person, one whose pursuits are those of civilian life, pertaining to or characteristic of a civilian. They know enough law to know they're going to stand up for their boy. They know enough to know that. Our problem is we haven't had a boy in 100 years because everybody sold your ass out. That's why you're still going through all the BS that you're going through, because you want to be Negro, black, colored, and all these fictions instead of being a national. Like every other civilized human being. But, it is what it is. It is what it is. Right. Let's see what we got. See what questions we got today. Islam, I just have a question for my friend's son that has epilepsy. Any advice would be appreciated. Thank you for reading and being a true spirit of the Most High, Islam. The only, and this is from research because there was 2 incidences of the seizures, and then one somebody had the pen, and then one somebody had the CBD, and the CBD stopped the seizures faster than the pen. I don't know what the dosage or whatever was of the CBD drops or whatever they were taking. So there's and in the research it's talking about even children being able to do it and it not affecting them later. So the CBD, and they did what's the thing called, is it dementia? But there was something that was causing the seizures, and then they were doing drugs, and they were doing, I think it was a documentary on it. Look up documentaries on CBD for medicinal purposes or whatever. So there's a documentary, like a CBD documentary where they're talking to all these different people that had different illness, I guess, with regard to seizures happening. And they had like different they had like maybe 3 or 4 people who were doing the drugs, and then they switched to the CBD. And by the time they got to like 2 months or something like that on the CBD, they were pretty much seizure free. There was a period where it's not like the seizures lessened or whatever. They just never had a seizure ever again. So I would go with the CBD before anything else. But first, I'll go there first because the documentary was pretty good. They convinced me to we'll do some marijuana drops for some illness before some pills or injection or whatever like that. And they were happy. There was a man who was I think he would get cramps or something. I think it was like a hand cramp. He would get some hand cramp. Years, all his life had this hand cramp, and then took the damn CBD, and nothing ever again. And nothing ever again. Then just kept taking it because if I'm getting nothing, then what the hell am I stopping taking this for? And there was no repercussions in any other facet of life because of because people are going to say, oh, the addiction and all that stuff. It's the point they were making that it's an extract of a plant. That's all. It's the extract of a plant. This stuff's been around for thousands of years, being used. They didn't go too deep, but where they went, you know how deep it could go if you start going into, you know, the occult or spiritual side with CBD and meditation and all that. You know. But yeah, seizures are scary. Seizures are scary. And there was ones with people who they know it. They know when it's coming for, I don't know, whatever. They just know. You know, so they could prepare themselves or whatever. They know, you know, and then there's somewhere it's just out the blue. You know, didn't have the pen on them, and then you had to go find somebody else's. But yeah, the CBD is real. I would go there, definitely. Just look up any documentaries, any books or whatever on CBD for seizures. Stuff is gonna come up more than you imagine. Okay. Nationalism or nationhood? Nationalism or nationhood? So as usual, it just has to be a thing that you do. That when your Mars already noticed, this is just for any newbies. Any newbies who they might be missing things a bit. It's a must that even if you know, you check a reference for certain things. Right? And it could be a different reference or the same reference. Because there's something about reading something a second time and a third time and a fourth time that something always comes out of it because your consciousness is always evolving. So you read something now and then you read something a week from now, you're going to get something different from it probably. So with nationalism, we'll just check just to have a, you know, a reference point. We know, but we'll just check. Right? You know, the easy one, if you don't want to do the pages and all that stuff, right? The easy one, Etima Online, put the stuff in there and you'll get what you get. Right? So 1884, devotion to one's country, national spirit or aspirations, desire for national unity, independence or prosperity. See nationalist plus ism. In some usages from French, nationalisme. Earlier, it was used in a theological sense of the doctrine of divine election of nations, 1836. Later, it was used in a sense of doctrine advocating nationalization of a country's industry. An earlier word for devotion or strong attachment to one's country was nationality, 1772. When we look at, again, Burkina Faso and what they're doing over there, that's nationalism. That's not what we do over here. Get the Pan-African banner, run out there, beating up KKK and all that stuff, and think that we're doing something. On top of that, devotion to one's country is not devotion to an island or devotion to a state or devotion to a city. National, country, national unity, national spirit, not individual spirit, national spirit, national breath. Like nationally, everybody breathing in harmony. Doing things nationally. National. Nationhood. State of being a nation. 1840 from nation plus hood. And then nation, there it is again. Verifying to you that you're on the right track if you're about nationhood. But remember, if you're talking nationhood, then you have to have a nationality. You can't talk nationhood as a continent or an adjective. You can't call nationhood and you're not a nation. You can't call nationhood and it's a religion. Nation, country, that's where you want to be at. In the realm of the national things. Being a nation. The state of being a nation. What is the state to be a nation? There's certain things, some with that. Nationality is one of those things. If you don't have that, you're not a nation. Stop the BS. Tell me you're a nation when you don't have a nationality. And when you ask your nationality, you're talking about you're an adjective. You're a continent. You're 2 continents. Making up stuff. You're only making up what your trader leaders taught you. Your sellout leaders taught you. Oh, Volta, you're late. You're late. We already touched Burkina Faso. Just rewind, and you'll hear us talk about Burkina Faso, and then you could come back. You could rewind yourself. You don't need us to do anything. So you rewind and go back and hear what you said about Burkina Faso. Then you could get back up here and get caught up because you're actually late. No black time over here. Honest, all the Moors. On the Moors. Worldwide. What is the connection between Tartarians and Moors? You can't make this stuff up. Can't make this up. So when there's Moors all over, there's Moors all over, and then they're studying, things would just flow in harmony. So going back to the question, what's the connection between the Tartarians and the Moors? So if we, right, so there's some right here. Then Tartarian architecture, barbarian architecture. Now, when they say Tartarian, and they show you these people right here, but then they say barbarian, and then they show you, and then they show you the buildings in the back, and then it's the same stuff, and then the palm trees are the same stuff. Oh, these more than likely, that's the same today. If this is what it was, because I'm seeing Moors on this, right? Dark-skinned people. I'm seeing indigenous people on this. I don't know anybody who's going to doubt that dark-skinned people are the original people on the planet. They were everywhere first. So if dark-skinned people were everywhere first, what you mean? What's the connection between? And if you want more, you can go even check James W. Lee. You can go check Michelle Gibson. Just look them up in Tartar. You know, Seer the Duke of Tears. Just go look them up. Look those names up with Tartar in the search engine. And see how long these people have been talking about this stuff. Right? And things are fads. Right? Fads. It has to be really it has to be really accepted. It has to be accepted. The only way that you're gonna make it through is if you accept this fact that dark-skinned people were everywhere. If dark-skinned people were everywhere on planet Earth, then that means Moors were everywhere on planet Earth. Because Moors are dark-skinned people. And everyone knows this and accepts this fact, except the Negro, black, whoever's. They're going to see these images and say 2 black guys are on this. Well, they're black. But no, they're not. If that stuff is called Tartarian, then how you get an adjective from their national name? When you talk to those European cartographers and all them, and they start talking about, oh yeah, Tartary on all their maps, all their stuff. And then you check and they say, oh, hold on a second. On the map, this is the same area as Asia. Oh, that's interesting. Oh. So all the people who were, this is why you have the connection of the whole Bering Strait and all that. Because one landmass. Big dummy. It's one landmass. And there were people everywhere that looked like us. There were people everywhere. You go anywhere, you're going to find one of us pop up. Like, yo, where'd he come from? Knowing the language and all that stuff. Just like that Moor who goes to China and all that and messes those people up. Dark skin talking to them in the language. Like, hey, you know our language? As a messed up. They don't even know what to do. We were everywhere first. So the connection is that it's all us. And also the connection is that keep in mind all this free energy stuff and all that stuff is from the times of the Moors ruling, civilizing all these other places or whatever, and then the time of these Tartarians, they had their own everything going on, ruling. This is all through Asia. And then keep in mind Bering Strait and all that stuff. Don't forget, when you talk about Asia, you have to talk about Bering Strait. Because it's there. It's just water and stuff like that. Ice. You might miss something. All one landmass. You'll figure it out. It's going to hit you. Eventually, it's going to hit you. Eventually, it's going to hit you. For some people, like they're in other realms with regard to this. And then there's ones who are in because they were just walking and stumbled on this and seemed interesting. Find themselves that way. Some called to it. That they can trace back the steps that led to them being in the sit down with the individual put their hand on their shoulder and told them, hey, you know what? Like we're not black people, man. Like somebody played us. What are you talking about? We're not black, and whatever like that. And then they break it down to you, and you're looking at them because this is somebody that you trust and all that stuff. And they're sincerely putting you on some serious game that you don't even know yet. People who are from the the angle of nationality card and paperwork. Getting their paperwork, sending it to whoever needs to know. Sending copies, remember, never send the original. Original is always yours. Send copies. Maybe get a response. Sitting there in the meeting with them and stuff like that. And you're like, hold on a second. What is going on right now? All this from just sending a writ to some people? I just let them know that I'm a Moor and now I'm in the head office boardroom with the glass and all that stuff, beautiful view and all that. Whatever the issue is that you were dealing with. There's so many ways that this is to reel people in. It's about being sincere. This is the real deal. This is the real deal. We've gone through many a school of thought, and nothing Right? Nothing matches up to knowing the truth about nationality and birthrights. If it's not that, it was a waste of time. Waste of time. Because again, when looking at Burkina Faso and where they're at, we were there already. And our own sold out. Opposed to when you look at them, their own is repping for their stuff. And then nobody's going to sell out. Why would you be a sellout? When everything's going good for everybody. People's pay just went up 50%. What are you selling out for? Well, people always want something. People don't just want to learn because learning is fundamental. You want to learn because of some issue. Oh, I choked on my water. I need my nationality card so I can unchoke myself. Next one. Peace and love, GS. When we as Moors need assistance from quote-unquote government agencies, i.e. SSI, Medicaid, SNAP, etc., what influence, if any, does expressing our nationality have on us receiving that service? Well, again, it all goes back to learning how to live within contracts. That if you're in the mindset that you're a national and you're in your land and you need a chair maker and there's no chair maker but the colonist chair maker, and the colonist chair maker is saying, well, if you're on a chair, you got to fill out this form in order to get a chair. And your people are in a bad state and all that stuff, and nobody make a chair, and you don't got the time to do it and all that stuff because you got to work 24 hours a day and all that stuff just to survive to have a chair. And you go to them, you write all rights reserved on that line that says signature. You write all rights reserved. And you sign, or you autograph, but better make sure that all rights reserved is on that thing that you're submitting to them. And you're reserving your rights because you're a national and they're a private foreign European corporation that uses adhesion contracts to hold you to debts that's really their debt. They're trying to put it on you through these papers that we sign with not even caring, oh, just initial here and then, oh yeah, initial there. That's signature. You just gave them jurisdiction on whatever that was that you signed. You didn't reserve your rights on that? No? Well, nobody told you about reserve your rights before? Oh, you're definitely late. And somebody played you. Why didn't they tell you about learning how to live within contracts? Because you're under occupation. So since you're under occupation, you better know how to live within contracts because the people who you're contracted with are a foreign occupier. They're a slave master. And their job is enslave humanity. So you better know how to protect yourself so you don't get enslaved. Because they're not playing around. And just on reservation of rights alone, these people's whole system would crumple. Right? Just on that alone, it'll fall again. Because why are they asking you to sign everything for? Unless you're giving away something. Why are you the only one? How come the person who gave you the paper, they don't sign? They just want you because you have to execute it. You have to put it in motion, not them. They just put the form on the wall. You go pick it up. You just go take the form off the wall, sign, give it to them, no reservation of rights or anything like that. That's how you get caught up. If you reserve your rights, then 15 years later, when they talk about, no, you signed that thing, you didn't read the fine print. Fine print said that you got to give all the blood and all that stuff while you're still alive. Say, oh, fine print. Oh, you see that contract right there? Just bring that contract over here. You see that contract, reserve rights? Reserve rights? All right, well, I exercise my rights right now. That this is an adhesion contract. That's why I reserve my rights. And if the contract's adhesion, then that's not a legitimate contract, is it? Oh, so if that's not a legitimate contract, then there's nothing for us to talk about. Small print. What's small print? I don't know what you're talking about, small print. All I know is all rights reserved on that contract. That's all I know. You're going to deny me the rights that I reserve? That's right there on the paper. And even in using your free national name, you should be reserving your rights. Even with using your free national name, all rights should be reserved. Okay, you don't know what right they're going to try to steal from you next. What right? Yeah, just checking this chat. What's going on? Chat Mufti's got it. The chat Mufti's got it. I'll just all the words in the chat. Peace, more. Could you talk about how to get a P.O. box at the General Post Office, which is on the land? And once I have the P.O. box, will I still make payments every month? Now remember, the P.O. box, Post Office box, that's a service they're providing. So that's what you're contracting now. Going back to the contracting, you could scratch out all the stuff in the contract, but they're probably not going to give you the box. So, this whole thing of living for free, the concept of that living for free thing, look at it like this. If they're asking you for notes, which isn't money, are you paying? If they're asking you for notes, they're not asking you for gold and silver in order to have this P.O. box. They're saying, give us 13 notes, 40 notes, 80 notes, 500 notes, or whatever. for this thing called P.O. Box. Remember, they're not asking you for gold and silver. They're asking you for notes. So are you really paying it? Is there really a payment if they're asking you for notes? And if you look at it like that, then it'll be easier for you to give up the notes to do whatever it is that you have to do instead of playing around with this living free stuff that Moors talk about. When really that's just to play you into buying some package or something like that. You know, living free unless you living out there in the bushes away from civilization. You want to be berry picker or whatever? Yeah, you can live free. You can go out there and live free for sure. Right? Or did you get some inheritance of a house or something like that? Okay, you could probably live for free. But you're not giving up any finance to get things out here that you need for survival. You're just gonna show this paper, and then they're gonna give you everything that you want. Yeah, it should be like that. Should be like that because you know we're the indigenous people and all that stuff. Then yeah, everything should be free for the people whose land this is that everybody's raping. But you know, track record. You know, they don't care. They're about violating. So this is where it's at. It's not where it's going to or anything like that. This is where it's at. Right? So we know Moors that went, they put down their nationality card, they got their P.O. box, and they went about their business, and they're paying their whatever a month. Now they have a P.O. box, and they get, you know, letters to it and all that stuff. They get packages to it. They get whatever mail to it, you know. And it ain't no big deal that they're paying 15 notes a month or 20 or whatever. You know, and this comes with the territory of where we're at. Don't get mad. Use it to your advantage. How about make the P.O. box pay for itself by starting a business? You know, how about that? How about that? Let it pay for itself. You know, there's ways to get around it, but it depends on where you're at. You know, depends on where you're at. Because some Moors just want a P.O. box because they don't want to use their domicile. Some Moors, they don't care. They just use their domicile. No big deal. You know, I'm not a whatever that I'm expecting something crazy to be coming to the domicile. You know what I mean? These people have a fly that's a bomb. They're gonna do something with the mail with me. Stop it. You know. So, you know, and again, going back to the thing with the expense, you know, of it, which is why you want to do it for free, which, you know, it makes sense. You know, but if you don't have to have the expense and you got domicile, you could just put care of on that and get everything sent to your domicile. If it's like that and you don't want to spend the, you know, 60 notes a month to have a P.O. box, you know, Moors have been getting stuff sent to the domicile, having Morocco on the address and all that stuff. And stuff gets there. No issues. You know, no panic. Just mail. Send the mail. You know. But I got the P.O. box. You know, having the P.O. box. Moors, there's Moors who have them. You know what I mean? And you know, the point isn't about paying for it or not. You know what I mean? Because even if we look at the post office as some constitutional office, why wouldn't you pay and support it? Like, why wouldn't you put your finance into that if that's really, you know, a de jure jurisdiction, the post office? You know, what's the problem with paying the 60 notes a month? You know, right? Because you know, again, you don't have some dude on a horse coming to take your stuff to New York or whatever, right? So if it's getting there, you like, come on, you know, you got to give up something. You know, yeah, we want to have everything our way as Moors, and we should, yes, and we deserve it, but it ain't happening like that. So don't get caught up in looking at it that way. You know, you'll be heavily disappointed when you make it all the way to the line, and then as soon as they dismiss it. And all those writs that you sent in, all that finance that you put in because you wanted to go up there and you wanted to say your thing to the judge because whatever. No, it's dismissed anyways, right? Yeah. So what you mean you're mad that you didn't get to go up there and cuss the judge up? Well, because I needed to put the jurisdiction on the record that they dismissed it. Stop it. You like too much drama. You like too much drama. You don't need no drama. They dismissed it. Good. You got to go home after court? Oh, good. Good. Nobody kidnapped you? No, but I was supposed to go up there. You didn't get kidnapped? You made it home? All right. Because I was studying for 20 hours. You know, that just comes with the territory. Public Notice 7310 says that they can't ask you for any specific species of tender. Yeah, they could only ask for notes. Can't ask for anything else. They can't do bartering. They can't do anything else. All they want is notes. That's it. If you're not coming with notes, you're not getting any whatever it is that you're claiming. You're gonna go there with gold. They're gonna tell you, "Oh, this is a $5 gold coin. Woo-wee. I give you 4 notes change." They're giving you four gold pieces for your 5 if something's $1. You're getting the notes, and you're not even getting what it's worth in notes. They're giving you right? But this is what the thing is with the sellout, right? Why we have to deal with all this BS, you know, because some people are about their selfish self. They wanted to make backdoor deals. You know what I mean? They wanted to get a benefit and a benefit again. You know what I mean? They just didn't want to just work for the people. You know, they want to work for the people. So they sold out. And they're selling out. Now we reap the rotten fruit from what some sellout did. That's just how it went. Ain't nothing. You know what I mean? Now what are we doing? You know? And then those Moors who are living as Moors, they're reaping the benefit. You know, just from knowing thyself for real. You know, I understand the Moors Worldwide. Let me just check this thing. See if there's any more. Any more came in. Does reserving our rights have any effect on the fact that whatever benefits that are being given from them are automatically our birthright inheritance, colorably given back to us as a benefit? Yeah, that's what the contract. That's the whole play. Right? Because you realize that, okay, so they're gonna okay, so fine, you're gonna occupy, no problem. I'm gonna contract with you, but I'm gonna reserve my rights. So that when you're giving me my stuff back, you're giving me my stuff back, right? Whatever it is, whatever it is that you're applying for. And then once you get it back, you better be doing with it what you're supposed to do with it. And not be about yourself, because you got the benefit. So I got the benefit, so I'm just gonna do for me. No, you're supposed to do for your nation. That's where people get messed up at. They try to do it for self. And they're not looking at it as their situation is attached to the nation. This is why you're supposed to have, moderators for disputes, and you're supposed to have, right-hand man and right-hand woman that you can go to, that you can sit down with them and then you can build about your personal stuff or whatever. You're supposed to have that. Because we're a nation. That's how nations run. In certain nations, I already know chauffeur is the right-hand man. Because he's with the man more than anybody. And then bodyguards next. Because he's on his hip all the damn time. If anybody knows anything, it's bodyguard guy. We're lacking in all those areas. Because we had the prophet do everything, set everything up, had it in motion, not 30 miles an hour. We're going 160 right now. Stuff is good. It's clean, open. Nobody else out here. We got the stretch. Juali had it locked down. We became the inheritors. We became the inheritors of our birthright. And because of color, Negro black color, because of color, gave up our birthright. Gave it up. And some say force of arms and all that stuff. Yeah. But, if we got ancients and the ancients told us about these people, they're going to come and stuff like that, be careful, and you're playing friendship games with cutthroats and all that stuff, then you get what you get. You're a big dummy. Because you should have looked and just known, those are the guys right there. Arrows. They're not landing over here. We heard from our people over there what you did already. So we gave up our birthright. And then now we're in the attempts of the reclamation of it. But majority of the people rather sleep. They rather be in color. They rather be in color. opposed to being allodial. So never seek a benefit. Never seek a benefit. It's a birthright. That's like when you're young and you find out where the candy is or the whatever that they've been hiding. And because you're young and dumb, you just sit there, eat everything at once. Then your dumb ass is sitting there with the stomach ache, and then you got to give up the goods that you actually found the spot and all that stuff, Young and dumb. You gave the stuff up. But, honors to the Moors who figured the stuff out. And they're doing the things necessary so that the next generations, they know what's up. Right? And that's the reclamation too. Through them, through the younger generations, knowing about it younger than we knew about it. And then now them having it, and let's see what they do with it. Because we see what we did. We did what we could do. When our time's done and we look and we say, okay, well, we gave it to them. What did they do? And they're only going to do based on what they see us doing. To be inspired to take it further than that. In reserving our rights, are we saying, give me what is mine versus thank you for your mercy? I would look at it like you're reserving your rights because you know that they robbed all your stuff, so that you don't get played again getting your stuff robbed. You're going to reserve your rights in your dealings with them. We're not even talking about what you're getting, what they have, who's going to, we're not even going there. Right? Because it's not a give me what is mine and whatever like that. They already know they're supposed to give the stuff. They're choosing not to give it. They've been taking the position that we don't care. We're colonizers. That's their position. They're not here to be anything other than. So as Joali said, be yourself, so that we don't have to be anything other than who we are. And again, who we are is going to determine how they deal with us, because we know from them dealing with our people, generally, once it's Negro, black, color, whatever like that, you're their ward, you're their property, and they're doing whatever they want with you. And we're saying we don't want to be seen as that. In order for them to do whatever. So we're not looking for mercy or anything like that. We're putting our position out so that we're not assumed to be, so they can have whatever jurisdiction they're claiming they have. And then that's what all rights reserved is in a line. Because, all rights reserved. All rights. So this is not some partial thing. So whatever right you're reserving, when it's time to produce the contract and then they pull it up and it says all rights reserved right there, Now you can start talking about your rights that you have. Because what they should do was saw all rights reserved and said, nah, fine, we're not contracting with you. Right? But you know, if they're sincere, why wouldn't they contract with you? If they're not criminal, they shouldn't have any issue with you reserving your rights. Shouldn't be any issue. They should be seeing that and be applauding you for reserving your rights, for even knowing that you have rights to reserve. You know? So it's not we're looking for mercy from them, and you can't give me back what's mine. Like you can't, because they didn't take anything. You know, they didn't take America and go back to Europe with it or something like that. They can't take anything. They can use. You know, they can usurp. They can cheat, but they can't take anything. You know, they don't have it in their possession like that. Like they took it from us. They're using it. They're using it. Honors to all the Moors worldwide. Honors to all the Moors in the chat. They refuse to contract when I reserve my rights. Yeah. I mean, that lets you know that they're criminal, because why wouldn't they want you to reserve your rights? They must be doing criminal stuff. If they're saying you can't reserve your rights, we're not contracting with you. They must be doing criminal stuff. And then the question is now, why even do business with them then? Why even be contracting with them if they're cutthroat like that? That's dirty. Telling you can't reserve your rights. That's dirty. You know. Now, one angle that Moors go when they, you know, especially if it was somebody on the low level, you know, the clerk or somebody like that said you can't reserve your rights and all that, move it up to the next level. There has to be somebody above whoever you're talking to, and talk to them. Right? Especially if they're, you know, if you go to their mission statement and all that stuff, their website, you know, about us page and all that, and they're talking about, you know, working with the people and all that stuff, then yeah, talk to higher ups. You know, and you should be only talking with higher ups when you're dealing with certain things too. You know, you don't deal with the minions. You don't deal with them. They're not for you to deal with. You deal with the higher up people. If you're a national, you know, if you're a national, you deal with the national level people. You don't deal with the clerk, unless it's like some county clerk. But if that's just, you know, Walmart, whoever, and you have an issue, you don't talk to them. Let them go back to work. You'll wait for the big guy. You wait for the big guy, and then deal with that individual. Honors to Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Love and peace to all the Moors. Islam to all.